Hello, everybody. In this episode, we're going to talk about the new model Anthropic came out this week, which is the Claude 4. They are claiming they are the best software engineer right now with the AI capabilities. And the rumors are start to spread again if the AI is going to replace the software developers. I've been developing over 20 years as a senior software developer. I'm going to tell my opinion in the end. Their announcement, they are mentioning they have two new model. The one is Opus 4 and the other one is Sonnet. And I've been using Sonnet in Cursor and it's 3.7, I guess. And that was really doing its job very good. And I think with the Opus, they're more like targeting the they're more targeting GPT o1, o3, and these reasoning models. But they're also saying these are the hybrid models, can switch between the more pragmatic and the classic workflow, but at the same time more task which AI needs to do some research or needs to do some thinking as well. And there are some Anthropic engineers, they're talking about their experience, like as a product manager, as a software developer, and how the Anthropic is doing their life better. But the one thing is good, and we're gonna start seeing more and more actually is the integration with the tools. That's the whole point to using the agents, and they're taking the steps towards that area. That's the actually we can differentiate Anthropic than the other companies. They're more like integration, the coding solutions, and those are gonna make those are not exactly the product itself, but it's more like you can build products with it and come up with the AI solutions. Yeah, here, as I said, extended thinking with the tool use, new model capabilities, and you can use it with the VS Code, JetBrains, and quite integrated. And the one good and interesting thing is the MCP. As you know, the Anthropic is the company who came up with the MCP, like model context protocol, which is a standard way of connecting your application. So if you have an application and you want to wrap your API around and just have a serve this application to the LLM, you can use this MCP connector. You can already find databases, a lot of connectors around like GitHub server and bunch of other tools. Like for example, you can have the Postgres. You don't need to write the SQL queries anymore. If you give the read permissions to the LLM, it can just search and come up with some solution, come up with the results. And this kind of solutions, I think it's gonna be very handy for the developers. It talks about the price range and details. Here it shows the accuracy, and you see from the 3.7 to 4, it's quite a big raise, I would say. And that's a good thing because, as you know, at the beginning, if you start using Cursor or whatever tool you're using, it's easy. But when things are getting complicated, accuracy is dropping drastically, and which is annoying, and which is actually the point. Most of the developers are stop using this kind of tools, and the vibe coding actually is not always working well. And again, if you look at the agentic coding, you will see the increase quite big. And comparing to ChatGPT, Gemini, and the other competitors, you see it's quite ahead. And as I said, integration is one of the core things they're mentioning. And that is actually going to make the agents and AI much more useful. Totally, I understand. I think they're focusing the right thing. And what I think about if AI is gonna take over the developer jobs anytime soon, I've been using I'm a long-term software developer, and I've been using these tools like Copilot and Cursor. I'm not using Cursor for my professional work, but I'm using more the Copilot time to time. And for my side project, I'm trying the different alternatives as well. And I was thinking at the very beginning, it's AI is gonna replace the software developers quite soon. I'm still really impressed with the performance in AI and everything, But nowadays, I believe this time is not at least for this year, or maybe not the next one, because the small things, the small, maybe the starting your startup, that would be really good tool. And or if you have an idea and you want to try if it's the idea is working or not, it's still a great tool. I think you don't need a software developer for that, and it can help you very well. But when the things are getting more complex and the number of the codes and the modules and number of the files are increasing, I think you need to narrow down your question very well. You cannot let the AI do all the work, even though Codex and all these tools are claiming they're doing it. Maybe so far is not my experience, but I'm definitely believing it's gonna be enough using these AI tools. Maybe yeah, coming years. I don't know when. Maybe next year even. I don't know. But so far, right at this moment, I think it's a good helper tool. You can brainstorm. You can structure your tasks, or you can plan it, and maybe it can start building the initial codes for you. But you need to be in the pilot seat and managing and to knowing everything. I think the believing all the code and without even checking it and then putting to the GitHub and going to production right now, it's so far. I don't think it's something you should do as well. And you should be always in control and try to narrow down your problem, and then also help the AI to come up with the best solution for you. That's my opinion. That's it for today. I will see you in the next one.